Hey, I think it worked this time. So, for everyone who was watching us on YouTube a moment ago, apologize for the delay, but we had to update the passwords on our streaming software. Try number 2.
It's been a while.
We're a little rusty.
Yeah.
We're a little rusty, okay? So, I'm going to double check that we're live.
Oh, it looks like we might actually be live.
Okay. We are. Hopefully you guys can hear us okay. Yeah, we're a little rusty at this whole thing because we took a few months off. And just to go into why, we had some technical issues. A lot was going on. We had to take a little pause. And then I actually had a 90-day ban from Facebook for some of my thoughts on something that I'll share later. I don't want to get kicked off right now. I'll bring it up later.
Let's make it in a few minutes and then we'll go.
Yeah, I'll bring it up later so we don't get booted off right away. But basically, I had some apparently too strong of opinions about something. We got a boot. We're back, though. And I had a 90-day ban, and since a lot of the people watch on Facebook over the other places, it's like, okay, maybe we'll just wait. And then it went on a little longer, and then we were getting ready to do a live episode for episode 110, which is what this is.
Which was supposed to be really rad, at a bar, open to the public. It was going to be epic.
It was going to be a big show. We want to make it a big show. We want to make it live, as in you could come and watch us and hang out at a bar. However, COVID-19 hit and all this stuff, and now all the bars are shut down, and we couldn't do that. So for over a month now, we've been like, what do we do? What do we do? And we just like, you know what? Let's just do it. All right, so we're going to do it. We're going to call some people. We're going to have a fun show. Me and Reese are the only ones in the house. We're not practicing social distancing. I'm not even going to go into that.
We're 3 feet, so we're 50%.
I'm going to touch you.
You just got it. I just got it. Here.
I touched you.
Let's not.
We could go to jail right now.
We should actually probably not make too many jokes about that because there are some people that are very opinionated. So we'll just skip along. Back to dirt bikes. What's sick?
They're already opinionated that we're sitting here together, so I touched you. All right, we're good now. We're square.
We got it.
All right, so we got some fun call-ins. We're going to do a call-in episode. Of course, we're a little rusty at this, and we're having some problems connecting our phones, so I apologize if it's not the best phone quality. We're going to jimmy rig it just a little bit to get the phone calls to work, but, it is what it is. We're going to make it happen, okay?
Get the ball rolling.
Bear with us, guys. Right? We're making it happen. We're making Moto Monday number 110 happen, and we're going to get back into the swing of things here, and I'm excited.
And we got some OGs. Some of the people that are hopping in, dude. I've already seen everybody's back.
Douglas, I want to, before we do this, I want to give you a shout out, sir, for being a strong supporter of the show. And I just want to say, when we do finally have our live episode, I want you front and center with us.
VIP table.
You get a VIP table. I just want to get that out real quick. So should we get into our call-ins? We're a little late because we're having some login issues. But we're going to get back into the swing of things here, and I'm going to get us set up for our first phone call. Wait, where did I put my tripod? Do you have the tripod? Thank you, sir. Yeah, this is going to be a little bit of a ghetto way.
Don't judge us, guys. It's going to work, but it's not going to be great.
Yeah, we were having some issues connecting the phone, and then, of course, my main phone doesn't even have a port where I can make it work. Bluetooth wasn't connecting. Just going to be one of those kind of things. So,
it's Moto Monday. It's got to have some hiccups, right? Otherwise, it wouldn't be.
It is Moto Monday. It's just how it goes.
Dude.
By now, anyone who has watched or listened to our shows knows that technical difficulties is all
part of the fun.
It's literally, I was going to say part of the game, but no, it's kind of part of the fun of the whole thing. All right, I got to do this, and I think I can figure this out. Okay, guys, our first call in today will be Mr. Ted Devol himself, promoter of the Pacific Racing Organization, the PRO series, Top Gun, and the owner of Devol Engineering. Ted, I hope you're ready, and I hope I'm using the right phone number. Yep, okay. Okay, now bear with me here as I set this up.
I'm nervous, dude. It's been too long. Way too much responsibility. No, it's going to be fun to have Ted on. He's an OG. If you guys don't know who Devol Racing is at this point, then he hasn't been around too long because the guys have done everything. It's a shame they don't do suspension anymore, though, because they had a pretty big following for that.
Oh,
Ted, how's it going, man?
hey, good. What are you doing?
Well, we're on Moto Monday. We're on Moto Monday here, and you're live. We had to Jimmy rig the phone system a little bit, so I hope you can hear me okay.
Yeah, it's a little. You standing in a can?
I know. Well, we got it. Basically, we couldn't connect it right, so we kind of have to speakerphone it here. But, you know, we're just making it happen at this point because we aren't just going to turn off the show and not make it happen. We're making it happen.
So you got banned? I didn't know you got banned because you bagged on the FIM.
Way to bring it up right away.
Oh, man.
Yes, I received a 90-day Facebook jail time because I voiced my opinions on the FIM.
Well, who the hell are they?
Well, apparently there's somebody that some people care about. I was really surprised about the whole thing because, you know, I've seen people go a lot harder on them than I have, but I had made a video about it, and the next day I received a notification that I had a 90-day ban.
Yeah, that's like a Big Brother thing. You know, they're watching you from afar from Europe, and they're bagging on you, taking a whack-a-mole bat to you. What's up with that?
I kind of feel special that they would notice, though. Maybe they watch Moto Monday.
Yeah.
So how are you, Ted? How's it going with everything that's going on right now?
Well, the shop's busy, and we do stuff for BBR, and they're just freaking buried. They've had, like, the best month ever. So I guess everybody's sitting around in the garage looking at their poo-poo bike, and they're going, I need a BBR part, and they're buying them like crazy. So, and we're fairly busy, you know. The aerospace stuff is down, but that's been going down since that 737 Max is, you know, took a nosedive or two nosedives, but hopefully that'll come back. But the moto stuff's still going okay, but, you know, no racing. This is depressing, you know, not taking a road trip to the races. It is depressing.
It is a bit of a bummer. It's like right now we have such good weather here in the Pacific Northwest, and there's not really anywhere you can go ride. That's not, I mean, you have to go to private, you know?
Well, hey, have you noticed all the guys putting on Facebook? I swear there's 50 private practice track guys have prepped up, and they're beautiful. Some of them, you look at dirt and go, oh, man, I'd love to have dirt like that.
Yes, and I've noticed a lot of people busting out the tractor or the dozer and just building fresh ones, like from ground up.
Yeah, Burkestall's doing it. Russ is doing it. It's just amazing how many guys have tracks, and you got these big doubles through the woods, and I'm like, that's a pretty big tree you're doubling by.
People want to ride, man. People want to ride. And, you know, there was a lot of seasons just getting started, and then this whole shutdown happens, and people got the itch. You know, this is right when they're getting ready to go, and we just halted. So, you know, everyone who's still healthy and doing great, and like, our bikes are ready, we want to ride. And so I think that's why we're seeing so many like secret private tracks going in right now.
Yeah, well, last year, you know, we got a totally crappy start because it was 7 degrees that weekend we were supposed to start. So we just never got a good start, and last year just totally sucked. And then this year we get the second best start we've ever had, and everything ran just phenomenal, and then it does this, man, just completely depressing.
Yeah. So what are you gonna? You know, you got a few hats you have to wear. So outside of, you know, working Devol Engineering, which I will say also we're pretty busy over here, just shipping stuff out. I've seen a lot of pit bike graphics, but you know, a lot of people, I think, just sitting looking at their bikes and want to order some stuff from them and get them ready. So far, we're still cranking stuff out.
Yeah, right. It's got to at least look good, right?
110%. But for racing, like, what do you think this is going to do for racing? I mean, what does the governor say? It's like the 6th or something like that? May 6th?
Yeah, here's what I think he's going to do. I think on the 4th, we were supposed to run in the 2nd, 3rd, but I think on the 4th he's going to lift a few things, but he's going to try and out-Trump Trump. He's going to hold off even longer. That's what I think he's going to do. And he's going to, you know, say you can't stay in groups. But here's my deal. We're just like somebody's going hiking somewhere, right? So sports and parks, they should be open because it's easy for us to keep people away from each other. And it's not up to the government for us to protect our business and our customers. That's our job. And that's the problem with this governor. He just did a blanket order without thinking through the process. I mean, to shut down fishing and golfing, you just think about that and go, wow, wait, I can go into a dope shop and buy dope. I can go into a grocery store with hundreds of people, but I can't go out in my boat. That's so ignorant. It just boggles my mind.
So let's say best case scenario on that date, which is it the 5th? Maybe I was wrong. Was it the 5th that they say we might go back to?
Yeah.
It?
So our May event was scheduled for the 2nd and 3rd, and we actually bumped it up from the year before because that's always the year of the Lilac Festival over in Spokane. So we figured we'd bump it up.
Okay.
And so we've now bumped it back a week to the 9th and 10th. And we're planning on running unless the governor sends out the National Guard or Josh is not able to open up Airway because it's a county facility. So we're kind of stuck there. And then our next round is Idaho, and I don't think they have nearly the restrictions that we do, and I'm pretty sure we're running Clarkia. And if you haven't been to Clarkia, you got to go to Clarkia because that place is totally cool.
It has been a while, but I have. So best case scenario, let's say we do get back rocking and rolling. Do you think we'll spring back and just say that was a minor hiccup and get back to racing? Or do you think this could, you've been doing this longer than most of us promoting. Do you think this is going to have like a ripple effect? Or do you think we'll just write it off as a bit of a hiccup and get back to racing?
Yeah, man, that's a $1,000 question because this has never, ever happened before. So we got a great start, and you'd think that it'll continue, but who knows how many people are out of work, not working, don't have any money, unless the federal government's sending them enough to sustain everything. But I don't know, man. That's tough.
Yeah, I don't know either. It's tough to say. I do know, it seems like the food industry is the one that took the hardest hit on this because, they can't do anything, and even the ones who do takeout now, a lot of people are afraid to go touch the takeout and get it, so.
Oh, yeah.
If that's a huge industry, that could ripple effect out. I want to say my gut says that we'll spring back and we'll all be ready to go, but you can't ignore that there might be a lot of people lost a lot of money. So
I know.
And
that's the biggest thing is how much should people lose and how much should people save to. People just don't save money like they used to. And so, I don't know. It's going to be a weird one.
Yeah. And, motocross, if times are tight, motocross isn't the most important thing you have going on in your life. You got to pay your mortgage before your bike payment. So, sometimes, I hate to even bring it up, but you go back to 2008. Wasn't pretty for motocross.
2009, 2010.
No. Yeah, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, we go through cycles about every 10 years, but this cycle really should have gone longer because of what Trump's doing. He's just had the economy just going unbelievable. But I think the construction industry will come back pretty quick because that's the busiest, and that's where most of our riders, parents and riders are in. They're in the construction industry. So I think that'll come back, and that's the one that should come back first because it's easy for you to keep your crew together and not associate with a bunch of other people. So that industry should come back hard.
I would expect, just like you said, that one would be the one that would come back hard. And there's a lot that really thrive off of construction. It really branches out. So I'm trying to think on the positive. I'm trying to stay on the positive. I'd like to think that we could just spring back and get this going. Once they say, okay, let's go, the opening weekends for all these tracks are going to be wild.
Yeah, it hasn't been that long, and, I got to tell you, man, having the right governor makes a huge difference, and that's kind of why I'm working for Phil Fortunato, because he would have never shut it down like this. And at some point, all the people that work for government, teachers and everything, they're going to run out of money really fast because the taxpayers that fund all that stuff are not, they're not working. And so this is bad for everybody.
Yeah, I know. Well, fortunately, it is a voting year. I'm sure a lot of people will take notice. I'm really trying to stay positive and think positive. We're, as just a whole community, we can spring back. So let's just try to stay on the positive, and while we're in it, because this is all hypothetical. But hypothetically, how many rounds have you been forced to cancel due to this? Is it one or two?
Well, we've lost one, and then this weekend there was supposed to be one at Riverdale, so there's not one there. And then the next one should be at Airway, even though we bumped it back another week. So it's the 9th and 10th, and so that's the key one right there.
So
if we don't, then we go to Clarkia at the end of June, and then we're going to have to start making up stuff. Well, we have at the end of June we have Port Angeles.
Okay.
So hopefully we can run and use our own protocols to keep everybody safe. Like I said, it's not up to the government to keep my customers safe. It's my job to do that. And we don't need a blanket policy that's doing nothing for this economy.
Well, so the ones that have been forced to cancel, do you plan on rescheduling those? If we can just get back and, this is all hypothetical. If on the 5th, ready, set, go, we can go. Do you plan on rescheduling those ones?
I don't know how we can reschedule all those because, Washougal gets started and they have quite a few races and we don't want to run against them.
Understood. Totally.
Pac West, I have no idea what they're doing. No concern. But it's just fitting them in to where we don't pile on top of other promoters. We want everybody to survive. And that's what we got to do is somehow work this out to where, everybody can run their races. But I don't know where we're going to do it. I'm sure we're going to run a couple in October, which is really actually super good racing weather because it's drier and it's about like this time of the year, but it's not less chance of torrential rain. So I'm thinking a couple in October, maybe one in September. So we'll see this next weekend or on the 1st of May what the governor does and says. But he's got to start using his brain and thinking through this.
Gotcha. Okay, so I know right now we still don't know what's going to happen, but I'm just trying to maybe take a guess of what's going through your head and what you plan to do with the series because this hit you right after you had your opener, and therein lies the problem that we missed this whole gap. Most of the tracks in the series still want to run still kind of the same events, especially someone like you who goes from track to track. But this just took out a good chunk of the dates, and it's hard to get good dates that are going to work, and people won't run over you run over them, or any of that. And we just lost a bunch of dates.
It's really hard. Yep.
So it's going to get tough for literally every promoter because this is cut into everyone's stuff. This is Thursday Night Motocross was supposed to open this Thursday, and they can't. So they have less races,
Yeah.
And then do they run later? Do they just cut those out? I think every track owner and promoter is trying to think this over. What do we do with trying to run a similar size series, but we had this chunk of the year just gone?
Yeah. That's the key is what are we going to do, to work around the other guys who have stuff scheduled. So I'm thinking it's going to come off at the end of the year. Hopefully Top Gun will be like last year. That was just huge. It was a super fun race. We had 900 plus riders. So we should have, things go well. We should have over 1,000 riders down there at that. And so we have to run probably a couple events, maybe 3 weekends after that, which I kind of don't like to do, but hey, people are going to want to race, and if they can't do it now, they're going to want to do it later, I hope.
Totally. So we're going to have to let you go in a minute, but, me and Reese, we're curious. Let's talk Top Gun for just a second. Is there going to be another pit bike race?
Oh, man, that was freaking crazy. I was thinking, 20, 30 guys show up. You had, 100-something people? It was nuts.
That was a lot of fun. We're just kind of curious. You going to run another one of those?
We're doing it again because that was great Friday night entertainment. Yes. I got to tell you.
All right.
It'd be fun to bring some lights over there and do it at night.
Oh, that would be fun. You know how many people would go out for that? Yeah.
Yeah, I might have to see about that. That might be worth doing. That would actually be pretty fun.
Shout out to if anyone wants to help us out with some lights. just saying. We got some people watching. Just saying.
Yeah.
The pit bike race, Ted, was so awesome at Top Gun. I know a handful of people, myself included, that had other stuff going on, and people that were showing up, paying their gate fee to go just for that, to show up and race that. And then it inadvertently turned into us hanging out all weekend because it was like, oh, we had so much fun. Let's go back. You know, so like, yeah, you got to keep it going, man. That's just a super fun way to start it off with.
Yeah, no, it's great for a Friday night thing because we're always trying to figure out what do we do on Friday night. Everybody's kind of sitting around and, you know, all antsy, ready to go after having the Friday practice, and then you came up with that idea, and that was a great idea.
I thought it was a lot of fun, but I am a little curious. If somebody brings out like a XR75 or something and puts your number on it,
you gonna ride it?
Are you gonna race it?
My legs are way too long. I'd bang my knees up so bad I wouldn't be able to walk Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
XR100. It's a little bigger. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see. I'm not a mini bike guy. Never been, because I'm too tall.
Ted, I got a KLX 110 with your name on it. Just a parade lap. Just a parade lap. Just go out there one lap.
Oh, okay, I can do that. I could be like the what do you call the pace bike.
Yeah, pace bike.
There we go.
Yep. We just want to see you out there. That would get the people going. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'll get everybody going. I'll just ride off it straight away in the sunset.
You know what, Ted? I'll take it. That's good enough for me.
Yep.
Well, we still got a couple more people we got to talk to tonight. I believe we're going to talk to Carson Brown next. I appreciate you taking the time, Ted. And you got any final words or any shout-outs you want to get in before we let you go?
I just miss everybody at the races. I mean, it's like family, and I just totally miss it because our industry has such a good group of people, man. I just love them all.
Well, yeah, dude, I'm missing riding. And hopefully we can get back to it soon. Ted, thank you for your time, sir. And you have yourself a good night.
Okay, thanks, man. Talk to you
later.
For
sure. Take care.
Bye.
We actually made that somehow work.
Impressive.
I'm slightly impressed.
Moto Monday last minute.
This is Jimmy rigging at its finest here. Oops, sorry guys, I'm hitting the mic. I apologize. This is Jimmy rigging.
Yeah.
But we're making it work. So.
Ted Devol, man, I miss that guy, dude. PRO series are so fun. Top Gun's such a rad event.
Ted Devol has been doing this longer than most. He's been a promoter for a long time.
I know. I miss
He's been in the industry a long time.
I miss him yelling at me at Washugo, put your helmet on, Reese, on your pit bike. What are you doing? God damn it. As he's riding his dual splitter out. It's good times, man.
Well, now we're going to talk to someone in a totally different aspect of the sport.
Somebody that just knows how to twist the throttle wide open, especially on a pit bike.
Man. Yeah, this is going to be a guy.
He's good.
I called out 2 years ago to a pit bike race.
Which is an amateur mistake on your part, but it built for good hype, and it was very funny.
It was fun. We did not get to do the pit bike race that I had planned on.
Both your guys' bikes blew up or broke before the race.
So, yeah, just to fill you in, I called out Carson Brown for the return of the Northwest Mini Bike National. I called him out to a race in the stock 50 class. Old pit biker versus new pit biker. I mean, I remember when this kid was 8 years old and he was on tippy toes on a KLX 110 with a tall seat. And so I was like, all right, yeah, let's make this fun. In stock 50s, there's only so fast you can go.
And the thing is, you could put a motor in it that's 100% not legal, but the chassis limits you on what you can do.
The chassis super limited. So, yeah. I figured it would be a good race. Unfortunately, both me and Carson showed up, and neither of our stock 50s would run, so we were forced to race the Open Pro class. And
that didn't go so well.
I did not beat Carson Brown. Actually, I didn't get close to him. I think I saw him for a corner or two and then had to deal with Eric Wanch the whole time. Wanch, I know you're watching. I wanted to have you on too. If you're still up, I might just surprise call you. But I got like third or something. I don't know.
It was a good run.
I had a crash. Had a few crashes, actually. It was a good time.
So did Wanch.
About the only time, though, I could even keep tabs on Carson Brown is like 2 corners. He is a racer for the JMC Motorsports team in the Supercross Series in the 250 class. He is also the son of Dwayne Brown of BBR Motorsports.
Pretty much the gods, OGs, like best of the best for pit biking. I mean, it's just. Yeah.
I'd say one of the few people that I know that might actually love pit bikes more than me.
Yep.
And that's who we're going to call next, Mr. Carson Brown.
Oh, and I saw your comment, Ryan, and I know. I'll wear my helmet from now on the pit bike.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up, Carson? How's it going, man?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Not too bad. I don't know if you were watching the show, but I was actually just pumping you up a little bit.
Yeah, I was just hearing the end there. That sounds like fun with Lawrence and all those guys. That was a good day.
I don't know what it is, but ever since I started racing pit bikes like 14 years ago or whatever it's been now, there's always been Eric Wanch. He won't go away. He will take you out at any opportunity. He's just always there.
Yeah, I think I've had that problem too. Ever since I was a kid, he's always been there also.
I seem to remember a couple...
He makes it fun, though. He makes it interesting. We love you, Eric.
So, Carson, how's it been going, man? You got a lot of people hyped on you this year racing the 250 class in Supercross. You had some good results. How was that, man?
Yeah, it's been crazy year, with the whole coronavirus and all that. Right when we were getting some momentum going, it kind of all came to a screeching halt out of nowhere. So it's definitely been different, but it's honestly been pretty good to get back and get some more testing done and keep in shape and all that good stuff. So we'll be ready for whenever it comes back again.
So, yeah, how many more rounds, remind me here, how many more did you guys have to go?
I think 6. 6 is what if I can remember right. And they're going to have to all pack those bad boys in at some point, so it's going to be interesting.
Now, has the promoters given you any insight whatsoever what they plan to do? I mean, I see the internet forums, of course, blowing up. But, I mean, do they give you anything, or you just sit and wait like everybody else?
Yeah. Honestly, they haven't told us anything. They're just going day to day on it. They released that the statement or whatever saying that, a tentative schedule or whatever, but nobody really knows what's going on for sure. So we're just playing it by ear, playing it day to day, like I said. So I'm interested to see how it goes, especially with outdoors coming up and all that. It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out.
Yeah, I'm really curious how this is. How this is going to go, because we've never seen anything like this. So for someone, who is in the middle of racing Supercross and now you just have to, press pause, what's your day-to-day life now? What have you been doing?
Honestly, it hasn't changed a ton since we kind of live, not too close to the city or anything. So we got the track at the house, and I've been able to keep up on my motos, and I've been doing a lot of woods riding. I'm not doing too much out with the general public anyway, so not a lot has changed for me. And like I said, it's been kind of good to get back in my routine and get back in shape and all that since a lot of that kind of went away with my injuries last year. So it like I said, we'll be ready whenever it comes back.
So now when you go riding, you're kind of getting infamous for a guy that will go ride in any condition on any day of the week. I think you even had a t-shirt on that, any day is a good day to ride. Do you ride a wide variety of bikes like you show in your videos, or do you mostly stick to the bikes that you would race on, or do you literally grab, there's videos of you on a 70, a 80, a CR500.
252 stroke,
yeah.
125s, 250S, 450s,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Is it a little bit of everything?
So basically, when I'm in California, we kind of made the thing this year, 250F going into Supercross. You got focused on that bike, and we did. When I'm back home, obviously, if I'm doing some woods riding or whatever, I'm on the 2-stroke. I'm always on the pit bikes with my friends.
definitely am riding a wide variety of bikes, but I mainly try and focus on the 254 stroke, but definitely I think the pit bikes get broken out almost every day.
Yeah, you seem to put in some laps, dude. How much would you say you ride a week? Like
Too much.
too much.
I would say, I'll ride sun up to sundown if I get the chance. It just depends how much I'm pretty much regulated to, with if it's parts or this, that, and the other thing. But I'm always on a pit bike or a big bike. It seems like if I have the opportunity.
So what has been your favorite bike to ride outside of, your race bikes? But, you have a wide variety of different pit bikes. And, of course, we're going to get to the 500 here soon. But if you just wanted to go spin some laps, what's your favorite choice right now?
Honestly, that the Perimeter CRF 150F that we made a while ago, that's been really fun for me lately just because it's got super mini sized wheels, and a bunch of my buddies have 150s, and it's super tough. So it makes it really fun because you can moto it or you can mess around on it. It kind of does all of the above.
Gotcha. So the Perimeter Frame 150F.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So
pretty bulletproof then.
Carson, everybody wants to know
absolutely.
and has been asking about it. And that CR500 you and your dad put together, whew, man, that was the creme de la creme of Honda 500 builds lately. You guys got magazine coverage. Tell me a little bit about that bike, man. And did the guys actually get to test it for the magazine and come out and ride it, or did you guys get cut short on that deal because of everything that's going on?
Yeah, so the plan was they were going to come up after Seattle Supercross. They were going to stay a couple days and come up and test it and film it and do all that stuff. So the coronavirus kind of put a hold on all that. But I think they're going to try and come up as soon as possible, and I'm looking forward to it. It just turned out amazing, better than we thought it would. It runs perfect. Brian Hugeberg got that motor just stinging, and it took a lot of people, but it's amazing, honestly.
It looks, I've seen some pictures of it here. That looks like a pretty crazy build. And I wasn't really, when I first heard of that, I wasn't really expecting. I was like, well, Carson's the small bike guy.
Right. You just throw on the biggest, gnarliest 500 steel framer there is. So rad.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a step away from the pit bikes, man. You're going big bore.
It's definitely a change, but I'd ridden some around, and I was like, man, I'm a big horsepower guy. If there can be more horsepower, I always want it. And I'm like, you know what? We got to do a CR500 and just make this thing mean. And it turned out, great because I rode it a bit before we took it apart, and it's making 70 horsepower now. So it's super cool, and we wanted it to look like it rolled right out of 1997, and we didn't want to do the whole aluminum frame thing because it makes all the geometry kind of weird and all that. So kept the steel frame, kept it looking to date, and man, it rides like a modern bike, honestly.
I got two questions, Carson, for you about the 500. Just after nerding out on the little splashes of it on the internet. One, are you guys, if the dream race happens and stuff, will you be out there racing that at the dream race? And two, tell me a little bit about that swing arm you and your dad did. Was it all custom made, or did you guys just reinforce the OEM swing arm? Because some of the welding that was done on the gas tank was phenomenal, but the swing arm was crazy.
Yeah, so if I get the chance, I'm always up to ride at the dream race. I don't see why not. We'll just have to see when the time comes, but I definitely want to hit a few races on it, whether it's vintage races or two-stroke races or whatever it is. I'm always down to race it, and I think that would be super fun. And with the swing arm, we capped it and made it super stiff, made it look like a worse swing arm from back then, and it feels a lot better. It's not flexing around quite as much because those steel frames, they already flex around a ton, so we didn't need any more flex out of the swing arm.
Did you guys do anything else to the chassis as far as gusseting the frame, or doing did your dad make custom motor mount hangers or anything to stiffen it up? or did you guys leave it pretty much OEM other than the swing arm?
Yeah, we left it pretty OEM. I mean, we definitely did a few welds on the frame, but the main thing that we did was the aluminum gas tank that we made. We made it a little lower, kind of feel a little more modern, and made it quite a bit skinnier. So
Nice.
it made the ergonomics of the bike feel more modern day rather than 1997.
That's
Smart.
Well, those things are like a banana, the seats, man. They're so low slung compared to the new bikes. Yeah, it's a whole different animal. That's awesome.
So,
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited for the Dirt Bike Magazine guys to come up and give her a test.
so man, you've been involved in a variety of different racing growing up. I've seen you do off-road races, obviously plenty of pit bike races, and I want to get you out to my race again. Do you like mixing it up and like trying different events and different kind of sports, off-road, would you ever want to do hill climb? Maybe you haven't, I haven't seen it. Do you like trying out some of these different ones? I mean, I'm a guy, like, if it's two wheels, I'm going to have a good time. I want to try flat track this year, but do you want to try some of that, or is this maybe not the best time when you're trying to make a supercross career?
Yeah, I'm just an all-around dirt bike lover, so I'm always down for anything. Right now, we're trying to focus on Supercross and Nationals and that sort of stuff. But when I get the opportunities, I like to race the Off-Road Series North around here. And I honestly really love the off-road stuff. I kind of grew up doing that. And if I've got the opportunity to do some weird one-off races, I'll probably be there. So it's been cool to mix it up. I think it keeps the love for the dirt bike there. I think a lot of guys burn out just focusing on one thing and just repeating it and repeating it and repeating it, whereas we're out here riding pit bikes and big bikes and kind of going all around while focusing on the other stuff at the same time. So it just keeps it interesting in a way.
Dude, I agree with that, because burnout is real. And I think if you mix it up a little bit, of course, my opinion, but if you mix it up a little bit, you keep the passion going, And, you're one of those guys that you can tell you like riding dirt bikes, man. I don't know of anyone who puts in as many laps as you do. You just got to follow your Instagram. Like, you're always riding. And I swear every time I see it, it's a different bike. And I think some people, they get burned out, or it becomes too much of a job. And they don't seem like they're having fun. And isn't dirt bike supposed to be fun? It's my opinion anyways. But yeah, I'd say you're like, if anyone wanted to look up to someone to say like, that guy's keeping it fun, that guy actually likes riding and racing his dirt bike and doing it quite well, I usually point him to you.
Yeah, it's crazy because you'll go around at the Supercrosses, and those guys, a lot of them just hate it. Like, it's unbelievable because they'll be on the line, and even the privateer guys, they really don't want to even be there. And I'm just like, come on, guys, like, this is awesome. This is what we grew up to ride for. And I'm just a passionate dirt bike lover. And so it's an addiction to me, It's dirt bikes 24/7. When I fall asleep, I dream about dirt bikes. I'm making dirt bike noises all day. There's nothing like it to me. And I just don't see the point in risking it all if you hate it. So, there's guys who definitely love it like me for sure, but it's definitely interesting to see the other side of it also.
Yeah, I've seen both sides. I've seen people who you can just tell they're smiling and having a good time, and there's other people who
They've been there too long.
they just turned it in. Yeah, they're good at it, but they just turned it into their job. They don't really want to be there, Can you foresee that ever happening to you?
Honestly, I don't think I've ever really burned out. I can see how it happens. A lot of guys just get stuck with it, and they get a bunch of injuries and have to focus down on one thing, and they're not educated or whatever the deal is, and they'll kind of get jaded with it. But I think with the opportunities I've got, going around and growing up and getting to see what it's really like and working on the dirt bike, and not just racing them, but, having fun with my buddies, getting to see the mechanic side of things, getting to see how the process works. I enjoy all of that stuff. And I think a lot of guys don't even know, some guys don't even know how to work on a dirt bike. They just show up and they race it. And I can see how that burns people out, but I don't think I'd ever get to that point. Like you were just talking about doing hill climbs or off-road or whatever, that'll keep it fun for me.
Well, I think a lot of people can pick up on that, man. Like I said, like I usually point people your way. If you want to see someone who actually enjoys riding a dirt bike and does a lot, and it's also pretty good at it. Like,
got some style.
I point them out to you. We're gonna have to let you go. We still got one more person to call in here. Someone who's actually done a little bit of mini bike riding, Lance Smail. But I can't let you go without asking. Are we gonna see you at least one pit bike race this year?
Oh, absolutely. If I get the opportunity and the schedule lines up, then you'll for sure see me ripping some pit bikes. Absolutely.
All right, good. And do you have a stock 50 that's running right now? I got mine back up and running. It took a little while. But do you have a stock 50 going? Well, stockish 50.
Heck yeah, we've got stock 50s. Maybe I'll break out the Z50.
Oh.
Yes, bubble tire.
I was just looking at buying one. I'm not going to name names, but
There's a couple for sale.
There is a few for sale. That is one bike that is not in my arsenal. I just did a count today. I have 14 pit bikes personally. I do not have a Z. I kind of want one.
You got to pull the trigger on that one, man.
Wait, all right. How big of an engine is in yours? I got to know what I'm working with here. How big are we talking? You're not going to bust out an 88 dual overhead cam, are you?
I mean, the Z50s we've got, they are bone stock, but I might have to throw an 88 in there for racing.
Okay, 88. Just, I would love to get a few guys together, old school, do like a Z50 race, or even just make a fun little video. But don't be busting out no like dual overhead cam or anything and jumping over our heads here. I'll go 88 all day long. Cool, let's go. But you're already going to smoke us, Carson.
We'll just throw a Daytona in her real quick, and we'll call it a day.
You have to push the forks out to make room for the head. That would be awesome.
And of course you would. Well, Carson, man, I appreciate the time, dude. It's always fun talking to you. Is there anyone you want to shout out, last words, or do you want to drop us some ways to follow you on social media?
Yeah, I mean, everybody who's helped me out around the Pacific Northwest, KMC, Fly Racing, DVR Motorsports, my parents, the Northwest people are keeping it real, and they're super passionate. So it's super cool to see around, and they're not just cheering around locally. I hear that the Supercrosses too, so that's super cool. So follow the Instagram, and I'll see everybody around.
Cool. I appreciate it, Carson. You have a good night, and we'll catch up soon. All right, man.
All right, thank you.
All right, for sure. Take care.
Bye.
I think I just called out Carson Brown to a Z50 race.
Dude, I love how you're dropping the bar below, like, stock 50s, because you realize, like, okay, their stock 50 is going to be gnarlier than my stock Vegas 50, and then, like, they're going to put a Daytona in a Z50. Dad's going to stretch the frame like plus 2 inches. They're going to make it, it'll still have bubble tires, and no brakes, but
we need to establish a few rules before we do this.
Stock swing arm, stock frame, stock forks, yeah.
Yeah, we need to establish just a few rules, but
wheelbase cannot be altered. Yeah,
we got to at least keep tabs on them for a couple corners. Yeah. You know what I mean? Although, if we bust out bring Abrigo out, that guy can mob on a bubble tire.
Yep.
Ryan Abrigo can ride a Z50, so I'm screwed. I've never ridden one. I'm like a little here and there to play on, but never like I'm trying to race it.
Yep. I don't know.
It'll be fun to watch though.
It'll be entertaining. Yeah, they're gonna have a tack gal dual red cam. Like, it's gonna be rowdy. It's gonna be.
I know. Bob is like, don't let Dwayne build Carson's 88 kit. So, moving on.
Big valves, ported head, race gas only, high compression piston. Yeah, gnarly. Balance crank. Like, you guys tumbled the gears and the transmission on the pit bike. Well, of course we did. Like, it's gonna be stupid.
I know, it's BBR Motorsports. It's
like outdoor, circa 05 outdoor national engine. Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Okay, we got one more to call before we shut this down real quick, and then we'll have our after show, which we have some guests for that as well. This is a fun night, though.
Dude,
fun night, Reese.
Coming back.
Moto Monday is back. Hopefully everyone can still hear us okay. So now we're going to call a guy who's been around this sport a long time.
I'm honestly a little nervous because I got like a little. He's one of the dudes.
Are you crushing right now?
A little bit.
Are you crushing on Lance Smail?
My dad, in our trophy case at our house, growing up, had the article about the KTM 4-stroke they built to go qualify for Supercross. Because my dad had a 94 LC4 KTM. And, like, I heard all the stories. Dude, like, we had that in our trophy case, like, with all of his snowmobile trophies. Yeah, he's OG of OGs, dude. Like, yeah, been around. And still fast.
I do believe, unless I have this wrong, he was the first person to put a 4-stroke into the main event of a Supercross.
I want to say, unless somebody corrects us wrong via the internet, I want to say, like, Doug Henry on the prototype, the Works YZ, who's the
I think that came after him.
But I think Lance was the first one to truly qualify. I want to say, what I remember is he's the first one to qualify for the 250 or 450 at main.
Yeah.
Like premier class main at the time. Yeah.
And he is a guy who's ridden some mini bikes. I want to ask him about that. And he's now
Ran
a
a
race
track.
promoter. He
Just-
has a son who's no slouch on a dirt bike.
Solid intermediate rider. Yep.
Yeah. Just a smidge closer on the mic. You can turn it a little too there, Reese. But this is not our normal placement here for our mics. But he's a guy who's been around. He's been there, done that. He's got accolades on top of accolades. But without going into all that, let's go ahead and just talk to the guy. We are now going to call our final guest for episode 110, Lance Smail.
Douglas, that's not nice. Easy, man.
Hello.
Hey, Lance.
Yes, this is Lance.
How's it going,
What's
man?
happening?
This is Justin and Reese, and you are now on Moto Monday.
Heck yeah! Thanks for the call, guys. Killer.
Dude, we've talked about you a lot on the show. I don't know how many you watch, but we've brought your name up a couple times, and it's cool that we actually got you on now.
I watched it quite a bit, and I always appreciate that. Good show. Always fun to listen to everybody in the Northwest BS about moto. Love it.
That's basically all we do is we just talk a little moto smack and, sometimes pick on a few riders and have some fun. But we can't have a lot of fun right now, man, because we're all shut down.
Yeah, that's been kind of a bummer, especially for the Northwest. We know how it is up there where we're just freaking out all winter wanting to ride. March comes and we're just getting rolling and bam, pretty much everything's shut down. So it's been a huge bummer for the Northwest racing community. People with private track, they're able to ride, have fun, stuff like that. But as far as racing, it's been a super bummer for everybody that was ready to get going.
Yeah, like horrible timing on all this for us in the moto community. I know this is like me worrying about racing dirt bikes is probably a small thing compared to like a virus pandemic, but still, it sucks that we're getting ready to start up the seasons and now we're just sitting at home.
The weather just started getting
and the
good,
weather.
too.
The weather's not helping right now when it's 65 degrees and sunny. It sucks.
Yeah, it's been unbelievable. I know the weather's been unbelievable. I keep looking at that. You can't see rain for 10 days. I had to water at my house on Friday, laughing, going, what is happening? We can't go anywhere. We're watering private tracks at home. It's so beautiful, and we can't go out to anywhere and see anybody or do anything. So, it's understandable. I'm for taking it easy and stuff like that. So I go with what's best for the country. But as far as us racers and stuff, man, when, like you said earlier, talking to Ted, when the gate drops for opening weekend, I hope everyone takes it easy a little bit. You know what I mean? Because everyone's going to be going crazy.
Oh, once they say go and open everything up, oh man, I just predict a little bit of a wild, wild west going on.
Yeah, first Thursday night motocross is going to be gnarly.
Oh, Yeah, can you imagine what Riverdale is going to be like, or just?
Might have to have a revolving ambulance. Let's hope not. But motocross guys.
I'm a little concerned about that. Yeah.
So, we hopefully that doesn't happen. But I just know us as motocross are going to just throw down. But when it comes, and it's going to be exciting when we do finally get to open up. And what a weird deal. What a weird, looking forward on how we're going to open up and what we're going to do. As far as my track up here, and you have to cancel maybe a race or two. I don't know what's going to totally happen with opening up, but it's weird looking at everything. And with Hangtown being canceled, we were going to go down there this year as a family and check it out. I haven't been there in years, but everything's different. So we're just going to have to all roll with it, see what goes on.
Yeah, I mean, we're just going to have to sit and wait. As a fellow promoter, I had a race scheduled in the middle of this. It was our final round of Riverdale. I was like, well, yeah, obviously can't run it. I know Woodland decided just to call it a season. I'm sticking it out myself to just hopefully we can get back at it soon. We can get back to some sort of normal and just have our final race. But, it's going to be tough for, especially me. I just got one race to slip in. But, all these series are losing dates. There's only so many dates available in the year. And if we do get back, let's say, I believe it was May 5th, tracks and series are now going to scramble to fill in lost time, dates, and it's going to get a little interesting. And that's best case scenario if we start, if we can start riding on May 5th. Who knows? What do you think it's going to be like now? Unless, we're talking best, I'm trying to stay positive. Best case scenario, May 5th, they say, okay, you can run races. What do you think is going to happen that first month?
Well, our first one was May 1st, so I canceled that, but I added one on the 15th for my Friday nights just because I can, because Hangtown's down. So I'm going to still be positive as well. I mean, I waited until actually today to secure my insurance because I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I was a little bit iffy, but I went forward anyway and got the same coverage, if not a little bit more, and said, hey, you know what, we'll race into the fall and practice into the fall. I'm kind of assuming possibly if we can't race, but if they open it up to X amount of riders or X amount of people in areas, maybe we do just a lot more practices and get people out having fun. Maybe we can't race. Maybe we can't get 700-800 total people through the gate like we get sometimes. So if it has to be smaller, hey, that's what it is. And at least the people that want to be on their dirt bikes riding, it's open for them and we can provide that service. So I'm just hoping we can get back to that.
Yeah, I hear you.
Lance, you're in a position where you got to make all the decisions, and I know there's a lot more to it than I know. But as far as you being a track promoter and kind of in the know, if that happens to where, let's say this season, if this ends up getting extended or just the things go the way they are where it's like everybody's race seasons get cut short to everybody gets to run, 4 or 5 races for the bigger series and stuff. Are you guys in a position, do you think it'll be an opportunity to be able to run more practices during the week? Like if you go, okay, man, we only get 2 or 3 months of the year where prime weather where everybody's actually open. And yeah, if they put it a 50-person minimum or 75-person minimum, are you guys in a position to run more practices during the week on top of Saturday, Sundays, that type of deal? Or is that kind of logistically too much of a pain in the butt to pull off?
Well, that's a good question. For what I'm able to do out of our track, we can't do anything Monday or Tuesday. Wednesday we have late hours. Friday and Saturday's late hours. Thursday we have to shut down at 5. So I was already planning on doing select practices and just some classes and stuff this year before all this hit, just to give a little bit more back and be open another day and give people that are off on Thursdays that chance. So that might end up being something kind of cool, but I do have to stop at 5 on those days. But if we can't get back to the racing thing, Fridays, we would definitely be open to do practices there and, even throw weekends down depending on what other race series is going on. I did see that Moto West put all their practices this year on Wednesdays, and that's something that I hadn't anticipated with them being 45 minutes away, but whatever, we're still going to do our Wednesdays. That's all we can really do. And like I said, just try to be open as much as we can. Listen to the public. Maybe, put a forum out there. Reach out to people. Say, hey, in this time of struggle and what's going on, what do you guys want? We do. I know a lot of people do want to race. They love the Friday night. Our group does. But maybe there is that chance to do more practices and just be open more and give people that buzz that they're looking for.
I think it'd be cool to see if I'd say it'd be better if this year would have gone normal and all this wouldn't happen, right? Because of all the negative effects of it. But if it turns into one of those things where, for whatever reason, this turns into the year of practicing or practice seasons, right? And everybody gets to ride more and there's a few races. In itself, unfortunately, a bad thing, but could be kind of cool for a couple months where it's like there's a lot more track time and everybody just gets to ride motos and have fun and then go, well, this year was just kind of what it was, and then next season everybody can go for it. That in itself, though, could be kind of cool, looking on, I guess, trying to be positive.
Yeah, I agree with that, too, and we talked about that quite a bit. I know that race weekend does bring in more money for promoters, but it also brings in more expenses. You have trophies, you have more staff, stuff like that, but we normally make, quite a bit more on a race day, but a lot more stressful, quite a bit easier to run practice days and, filter people through. There's a chance even of doing a double practice on Wednesdays for us, too. I've been throwing around maybe do a 9 o'clock till 2 o'clock, prep the track for an hour, and then do another session. And then you could buy both sessions for a huge discount if you want to be there all day. So I am kicking that around, too, just because, it might be one of those scenarios this year where that's what is needed and that's what people want.
Yeah, decent idea. Yeah, but we're all assuming at this point because we really don't know what's going to happen, and it's kind of a weird feeling. And we don't know if we're going to be back to normal in a few weeks, or if we're stuck in this limbo like another month. Like, it's kind of a weird feeling. We really have no idea.
If it goes 2 more months, let's say, that's going to significantly affect what everybody's schedule would have been for racing, right?
Well, I would be scared there's going to be a lot of bikes going up on Facebook Marketplace. If it goes into June, that's my fear.
I would argue a little bit because I feel like most of the people that raced Winter Series, or the guys that maybe ride a couple practices during the winter, but they're gung-ho. Like, they do Washoe every year. They do the Friday Night Series every year. Or they do all Thursday. You know what I mean? I feel like the people that really want to ride, that are like committed to this, have been doing it for a couple years, they're going to hang on to their bike. But yes, there is that demographic.
My concern is they have no income.
Yeah, that's true. And what's the first thing to go? The boat, the dirt bike, the toys. Right?
The dirt bike, the boat.
Yeah. I agree. I agree that happens. If that's not helping pay the bills and it's getting in the way, that could go. Let's hope that doesn't happen. I've kicked around with some price changes and stuff too, just to try to help people out. If I do less races and make less money, it's going to hurt us as well. But everyone's getting hurt around the Northwest and the nation, with being out of work and all these different things. So it's kind of like that. What do you do? I want to get people more bang for their buck. I've thought about a lot of different scenarios to do, and I just want to get people back on the dirt ride. That's the main thing. And if we have to go all the way dead through May and start in June, we'll go full force in June. We're not going to not run. We are going to run no matter what. So as soon as we're able to, and as soon as it's safe and we can do it properly, we're definitely going to roll. And we'll roll through September when our hours go back to normal and give people as much happy time on the dirt bikes as they can get.
So let's switch gears for just half a moment, because right before I had you on, we were talking about back when you raced Supercross. So correct us here, because it's been a few minutes since you raced Supercross, right?
Yeah, a little while.
Okay. Were you not the first person to put a 4-stroke into, was it the night show, main event? What's the stats on this one? Let's clarify for us.
The premier class?
It was a main event. I tried numerous times on the West Coast on my 620, which was the 550 ATM, and we tried, and I came close. Almost made it at Seattle, and I got passed in the semi by Button, and then of all people, I got passed in the last chance by Huffman, and had a good chance to just plow him. Could have just plowed him with the 280-pound KTM, and I wimped out, and, and that's fine. It was cool. I waited. Finally, I made it in at Daytona and made the main. Bike was sputtering all year. We had a problem with the, vapor lock and fuel and whatnot. But I did qualify in '97, first rider, modern era on a 4-stroke. So yeah, so I'm qualifying, and then right after that, Henry, qualified and then won. The only one he raced. So he pretty much squashed all my glory. But I was out there trying, doing what I could.
Yeah, I feel like, Doug took a lot of your glory, because when he came on the scene, it's like everyone noticed that, and it took away a bit of your fire for what you guys put in to make that happen. Because, I wasn't very old back then, but I do remember the bike, and I do remember the stories, and it took a little bit to get both that and you into that spot. That was, it's not like grabbing, like now you just go down to the dealership, you can grab a KTM 450, throw on a set of handlebars, really. You can do halfway decent. You guys didn't have...
It was crazy, it was a whole, Tom Moen, who's still at KTM, he was my mechanic in '96 when I started with KTM, and at the end of the year, everyone was talking 4-strokes and the manufacturers and figure out displacement that was going to work, and 550 is what they decided then. And we're like, should we do it? Whatever. If we did it, then we couldn't use what's called an exemption rule and run a factory bike. That was the only year you could do it. So Henry had that exotic 4-stroke. Well, our exotic 4-stroke was a 620 off-road bike, basically. It was not a motocross bike. It was super heavy, all this weird stuff, kicked on the left. But my mechanic, Moen, took it all apart and adapted KTM 250 SX stuff to it, did a straight pipe out the back, aluminum tank. We did what we could. He did what he could. I just rode the thing, but it was terrible, really, as far as carburation. It had a regular carburetor on it. There was no pumper carb, so it bogged. Oh. And when I say it bogged and stuff, it would just die. So I had to clutch it and rev it up wide open before I landed everywhere like a 125. Because it would bog so bad, I felt like I was going to die sometimes. But I just kept riding it and doing what I could. And I rode the 4-stroke good, and I figured, if I just get the right track, and I was getting good starts, I just kept pushing, and we made it happen. It was pretty cool. It was a fun time, and KTM really took care of me through all that. So I'm stoked for that.
I got to ask, Lance, at that time, with the people you guys were talking to with KTM and stuff, did you guys have a little bit of foresight? Was it kind of like, hey, we're in the beginning stage of the 4-stroke revolution? Like, this is coming regardless whether people are happy about it or not? Or at that time, was it still kind of looked upon as like an ornamental thing, or like, this is a cool idea, but this isn't this is gonna turn into? Or did you know ahead of time?
Yeah. Well, we had an idea because of 4-stroke nationals and stuff, but what really happened was Husaberg was built, and the Husaberg engine was a modern 4-stroke feeling engine. Like, it loped and it had really good response to the motor. It was light, really unreliable. It was a beater, but it was a good engine.
I owned one.
Fletcher from, used to build them and stuff, and you'd have to rebuild them every week. They were gnarly. But that thing and Vertimati in Europe, they were building really good 4-strokes. And when you could get it running really good, and we knew the way the 4-stroke power built and how it smoothed everything out, that eventually that was going to happen. But you had the older generation of old 500 riders like Chuck Son, for example, and some of the guys in Europe. Joel Smets was starting to ride them. And what you could do on those 4-strokes on the right track and the right terrain was pretty cool. I don't think my 620 was the type of machine to do it, but there were times on that bike where I could go really fast with less effort. And, we kind of knew when it went to 98, I started riding the Husaberg, what could be done on a bike like that. But they were starting to build them in Europe already, and I was flying back and forth and helping them develop 520. And that's when I knew that, okay, because we got a couple of really good prototypes over there. And once I rode those, I knew that, okay, well, these things, they're way faster on a track than a 250, on the right track. There's no way 252 strokes are going to compete with these. But they were really big displacements on flowing tracks. The motors are still too big, but It should have been 350s or 400s, period. But it is what it is, and that's where we're at. But I don't know. It really came on crazy, and the pumper carburetor really helped. That was huge, and taking away engine braking to where when you let off, you didn't just go over the handlebars like on a 600 XR, stuff like that. So it was really cool to be in it at that time when it was developing, but hard to say if we knew it was going to take over. But when the 250F Yamaha came out, that's when everyone knew that it was going to change. As soon as anyone rode that bike, that's when everyone knew that it was over for the little bikes. And so, yeah, it was good stuff. Exciting.
Yeah, and now here we are here. Yeah, it's cool you bring up Russ. Russ was actually, a good friend of mine. My dad was one of those weird bike dealers, and I can say I was probably one of the few guys you can say as a teenager had a Vertimati 530.
Or a Vor, or anything
503,
weird.
And I had a Gas 125. I mean, I had all the weird stuff. And Russ was all about that. And I will say, though, the worst bike I've ever owned was actually, it was one of the fastest, but Russ had a fully built-up Husaberg 470. The left side kick.
Was this Sullivan's old bike? Correct?
I believe that was Sullivan's bike that he did a couple nationals on. And, I hated that bike. I mean,
I know.
It was quick. But to start it, you had to do like this little happy dance and a little trick with the throttle and the decomp, and then left side kick.
You didn't do the technique right. You were just sitting there kicking it, literally. Like it was useless. Like you had to do the technique just right.
Yep.
I lost motos at those races because I sat there for a full lap kicking my bike. Like what an idiot. I can't even start my own bike. But it was different back then. But Fletch was bad. Fletch was a really good mechanic. Fletch was awesome. He kept those things running killer. I
figured
had
them
one here
out.
at the house for like months, and I destroyed it. I never practiced on it for the rest of the year because they couldn't give me enough parts and mechanics to keep it running. So I never practiced on one. But that was good stuff. Russ, a good guy.
Russ was a good guy. He built some crazy engines. I had to tell him like, hey, I'm not that fast. Slow it down. If you let him go hog wild, he could build some crazy stuff.
I want like a good 30C vet bike.
Yeah. But yeah, he was a cool guy to hang out with, and one of the stories we got from him, whenever he would go riding, he had a autographed Jeremy McGrath helmet, and that's what he wore. I'm like, you could just put that on the shelf. He's like, why? It's a good helmet. I'm like, yeah, but he won a Supercross in that, and he signed it for you. He's like, it's fine.
Yeah, but he was eccentric. I went to his house for the first time, and he was working on bikes in the kitchen.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep.
He was into it. Like, it was all about dirt bikes and full on. And KTM told me, they go, this is who's going to work on your stuff, because he was Mike Young Jr.'s mechanic the year before. And he goes, he's going to work on your Husabergs, and that's just who you got. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I liked my mechanic Mo, and I wasn't ready to switch. And I met Russ, and he even valved suspension, and he could just do it all. He could do it. He was a dirt bike guy. And that was pretty cool to meet an older guy like that knew their stuff, he knew everything about everything.
Oh, he was highly intelligent. He had built, he knew what he was doing, but he was a smidge eccentric. Yeah. But it made it fun, made it interesting. I remember going to his garage when he moved one time. I'm like, I can't even walk there. I'm like looking at this big thing, like, what's this? He's like, it didn't fit into the other shop. That's how I cryo treat the gears. I'm like, how'd you get it in here? He's like, I don't remember.
But all engine tuners, if you've met them all, they can do anything, but they all want to give you as much horsepower as they can all the time. Make it run as hard as possible no matter what. It's almost like, are you trying to impress me? I'm not sure. Like, he never made it so violent I couldn't ride it, but they can. You know what I mean? They're that good with building stuff. And he was one of those guys. He could do anything on a four-stroke, and it was good fun.
I feel like it's a personal challenge if they can make a talented rider get slightly scared of the bike. I think they take that as a challenge if they can achieve that.
They do. Yeah, that makes sense for sure. Velasco, another guy, Mike Velasco Racing.
Yeah.
I pulled 2 whole stop nationals ever, and on both bikes he built. You know what I mean? The 500s he built were so fast I couldn't keep the front ends down until the rings started to lose some compression. Then I could keep the front end down. It was just crazy how much power they had.
We want to race on the practice engine because it's a little bit looser.
That was cool stuff.
Oh man.
I gotta ask Lance one last thing, buddy, on the 4-stroke rant on the Husenbergs, because I remember those bikes. A couple of my dad's buddies. My dad actually owned 2 different ones, just growing up trail riding. What do you think? What was the Achilles heel with the Husenbergs? Because I remember them being fast. Even the production bikes were fast. Was it just that they did not last? Was that what you guys ran into the most? Just like the machining or the quality of the parts weren't as good, or you guys just stretching them that far to make them competitive that you're like right at that bitter end?
I think some of it a little bit, but I don't think it was even the modifying and making them fast, because they were good stock, but they just were not reliable. They weren't built with good enough material and good enough tolerances, good enough oiling, stuff to where the oil got all over during high revving situations and stuff like that. I mean, you had to adjust the valves constantly. There was just learning those motors and those high revving engines, if the valves could take it, if they didn't break, and the valve springs, all that stuff was a time of learning. So I just think when guys like myself were some of the level that could really wind them up, and beat them, they just couldn't take it.
You guys are actually riding, truly riding
the
to
Husenberg,
its limits.
I always tell people it was a killer. It was like an 02 CRF 450 engine, let's just say, in a 1985 KX 125 chassis. That's what the Husenberg was. It was just a flexy, kind of a beater, but it worked. I don't know what it was.
I cannot agree more.
That's the best analogy ever.
I cannot agree more.
She was loose, but she was fast.
It was gnarly, dude. They were unreal. I couldn't even believe we were racing those things. You looked at them and you were just like, how could this thing do any good? The engines were sand cast, so they just looked, I don't even know, sand cast, which they're just all lumpy and crappy looking. But that's what we raced. It was okay. Yep. No big deal. That's what we had.
Oh man, that brings back some really rough memories for me.
Dude, that's the best analogy for a Husenberg I've ever heard.
That was solid.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna put that quote into a poster. Oh man, well I'm looking at the time. We're gonna have to let you go here in just a second, man. But I appreciate you letting us drop you a call. First time getting you on. Maybe if you don't mind, we could do another one. Maybe if we had a little more time, because there's plenty of stuff we could talk about. I mean, whether it be now or just some good old war stories, But I appreciate you taking the time, man.
Anytime, I really appreciate it. It's always good to talk Moto, especially in these times, and what's going on. And, everyone's excited and wanting to get back out there. And we will get back out there. I'm sure the Washougal National will go off as scheduled. Washougal has a high level of it's got to be on that date, so I think they're all working together to keep their date the same and get everyone together there for the huge race at the National, and just get everyone back out there. I can't wait to see everybody and start throwing mud, roost rock. Let's do it.
All right, man. Well, any final words? Do you want anyone to follow you on social media, or maybe a shout out for your track?
Yeah, FSC Racing, Smail Racing Club, it's our little business that runs Pacific Raceways, MX, Pacific Raceways. I have a lease with them. They've been really good to me and allow me to pretty much do anything I want out there. And we were doing a few changes coming into this season, track-wise and other things. I'm always doing a lot of crazy stuff, but I just can't wait to see everyone back out there. I can't wait to see my crowd. We're definitely excited to see everyone back out ripping and enjoying this whole deal. So, yeah, I can't wait to see my crew as well. I know they're chomping at the bit to get out there. They're reaching out and wanting to get back to work. So, hopefully we can get all that going and see everyone as soon as possible.
Right on. Well, yeah, same feelings from me, man. And once again, I appreciate you taking the time. Hope you have a good night, sir. Actually, one more thing. We're going to take a quick little break here. We got one more person to call in. We're actually going to call Ryan Huffman. Is there anything you want us to tell him? Maybe something
there,
about.
Buddy.
Maybe you didn't appreciate the pass.
Get married here in a month and a half, so that's pretty cool, or 2 months maybe. So that's a pretty good deal, and I just can't wait. We were able to hit Washougal up just before the lockdown happened, and what a treat to get down there. And he's got all kinds of exciting stuff and stuff planned. And I just can't wait to get down there and maybe drink some beer and push some dirt on the dozer. So that'll be good stuff. So.
Well, right on, man.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping you'd call him out for hitting you those years ago, but I'll do that for you. So, you take care, sir.
We
And
made our peace. Let me tell you, we made our peace. You know, I always tell people, I came up at an era that was really cool racing-wise, and had all kinds of competition and tons of racers and just good stuff. And then you always had Huffman and McCormick waiting in the wings to pass the lady riders, and they just came up pushing themselves. And, they helped me become a better rider and push myself to levels that I wasn't sure I could reach consistently. And it was just good to have those guys and good to race Ryan. He was dirty. He ain't going to deny it. I was dirty too at times. And, we ground our way through it, and now we're good buddies, and it's fun to shoot the crap and talk about all the good times. And now our kids are doing it, so it's just pretty cool.
Well, Lance, I just want to say you're OG in Northwest Motocross, buddy, and thanks for taking the call. And I'm gonna drag Justin up to go race a Friday night race with me here when you guys open back up. We're making it up to this year, so we'll come see you guys.
All right, I appreciate it, man. That'd be killer. Anytime.
right on, dude. Well, you have yourself a good night, man, and I'm sure we'll catch up soon.
All right.
All right. Take care. I was trying to set up just a little something there, but he was actually really nice.
Lance he was a gentleman and a scholar.
He was a gentleman about that, and
he did leave on Ryan's dirty when he rides. That was pretty good.
You know what? I think anyone who raced pro in the '90s was though.
Dude,
go watch some old Supercross.
There's
tape.
some good, I've watched a handful of the outdoor nationals, like '98 through 2000, like with Jeremiah at TSR and stuff back then. It was a different and the TV coverage wasn't as good, right? Like the boy and talking to some of the guys, hearing some of the stories, it was different.
It was different.
Times
totally
were different.
Oh yeah,
right?
totally different. But it's fun to look back on. All right, we're gonna shut this show down so we can reset up and get our after show rolling. Guys, we're only gonna be like 5 minutes or so. So if you're watching live,
hang on. We'll
be right back. Okay, and we'll be doing some phone calls. It's gonna be a good time. I promise. Thank you guys. This is episode 110. We made it happen. Reese, high five.
Woo. Dude, we had a ton of viewers. Ton of comments. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Super rad.
We'll do our best to get back to everyone who was watching this bad boy. And if you guys have to go to bed, I understand. It is late. Not really. Never mind. I'll make fun of you. Make fun of you for going to bed at this time. Take care, guys. We'll be back in just a moment.